If you have straight hair, then this video is for you, because today I'm going to discuss all the problems with straight hair that you are probably suffering from and the very, very simple solutions to fix every single one of them. Now, I am not someone who suffers from straight hair symptom, but from what I have been told from everybody in my comments with straight hair, the main issues with straight hair are it gets oily too quickly, hair doesn't have enough volume, hair is super thin, scalp gets really, really dry. Now, all of these issues are tied together, they are linked, and the solutions are, again, very, very simple. Let's start off with hair getting too oily. Let's say your scalp produces oil at a normal frequency. Now, if you have straight hair and you have a clone of yourself with curly hair, both of the scalps produce the same amount of oil at the same frequency. The person with straight hair is going to look way more oily, and the reason for this is because the oil travels down a straight hair strand a lot faster than a curly hair strand. So by default, straight hair gets oily the fastest out of all the hair types: wavy, curly, coily. Now, I also want to point out that if you're overusing shampoo or using really, really harsh shampoos that make your scalp super, super dry, your scalp is going to be like, oh I'm dry, let me overproduce oil to return the microbiome back to homeostasis, which basically means you return the scalp's moisturization level back to normal. Now, if you want to know what types of products you should actually be using on your hair, I've made a couple videos on one on a styling product routine and another one on how to fix your hair and just a general hair type routine video. That'll tell you what types of shampoos to use and stuff like that. But generally for straight hair, obviously get a natural shampoo that isn't going to overstrip your scalp and your hair. And you're going to want to use that shampoo and conditioner a little bit more often than someone with wavy or curly hair. Now, having hair be a little bit oily isn't terrible. Honestly, it's good. You want to have some of those natural oils in your hair as it helps to protect from damage and breakage and just keeps your hair healthy and moisturized. But if you have straight hair, you obviously know this, your hair does get oily faster. So it's recommended to use shampoo a little bit more often to kind of control that oiliness and make sure it doesn't get absolutely greasy. You could also try not using shampoo at all if you have any questions about that. I made an entire video on no shampoo a couple videos back, so check that out. But that's a basic summary of the first problem of why straight hair gets oily so fast. The second problem is having a dry scalp. Now, I did briefly touch on this, but let's go a little bit more in depth. With straight hair, since your hair gets more oily faster, people are going to automatically think they need to use shampoo a lot more often. While this is the case, some people will use it every single day, and most of the times that shampoo is a very low quality. This again will cause your scalp to dry out, as I mentioned before, and cause your hair to get more oily because of your scalp overproducing oils. You can actually have a dry, flaky scalp and oily hair at the same time, all because you're using a toxic shampoo too often. The first thing you need to do to combat a dry scalp is get a high quality natural shampoo and conditioner. Obviously, I'm going to recommend Base Body Works shampoo and conditioner because I made these formulas myself and they're absolutely amazing. But if you want an alternative, honestly, just look for a shampoo that does not contain sulfates. That is the biggest issue right now, is people using shampoos with sulfates. So the biggest thing again is using shampoo. Let's say you solved all that problem. You're using a high quality natural shampoo. You're not using it too often. You still have a dry scalp. Now you can actually look into using scalp oils. Argan oil, jojoba oil, avocado oil, tea tree oil are all very, very good oils. I would recommend using them 30 minutes to an hour at least before using shampoo, again, because a lot of these oils won't absorb fully into your scalp. You don't just want to leave the oil sitting on your scalp, as that can make your hair look greasy, which is not what we want. So use it before you shampoo. That'll help to nourish the scalp, and then you can rinse the oils out. So now you have a healthy scalp and hair environment, microbiome, which is honestly the most important thing you need to do. Now your hair is actually going to be a lot more manageable. You'll be able to get volume and texture a lot more easy, but that's not always the case. And honestly, with straight hair, it is most of the time harder for you to get volume. Even if you have healthy hair, straight hair just doesn't stake up like that. There's no bend to it. There's no wave or curl that gives your hair natural volume. So what does this mean? This means you're actually going to have to use styling products. If you want to know exactly what styling product is best for your specific hair type, whether it's fine straight hair, thick straight hair, watch the video I did on what products work for each hair type. Again, I'm just plugging a bunch of videos because I don't want to really repeat myself. I want each video I make to be new information. But products that work with straight hair are sea salt spray, texture powder, clay, and pomade. Don't use a leave-in conditioner like this thing right here, even though this is dropping on October 12th, which is really hype for people with curly hair or wavy hair like myself. Don't use that. That's going to add too much moisture and oils and extracts to your hair, which your hair doesn't need, as your hair is already oily and nourished, unlike curly hair where your hair tends to run a lot drier. So those four products are are all you really need. I would pick your favorite ones out of the 4 and honestly just use 1 or 2 of them. You don't need all 4 of them, and then just style your hair accordingly. Now, the 2 probably most popular hairstyles there are for straight hair is a textured fringe / warrior cut, where your hair is kind of on your forehead, but it's pretty short, spiked up. It's not longer than 5 or 6 inches, or a brush back, slick back. Not really a slick back where it's like gelled slick back, but kind of just moving your hair back like my boy K Shami. He's kind of got a brush back. I'm honestly more a fan of the brush back. I think it looks a lot more classy. For that hairstyle, you would want to use something like a pomade or a clay for the hold to make sure your hair stays going back. If you want to add a little bit more texture, you could throw in a sea salt spray. For a textured fringe, you could use a pomade, a clay, or a texture powder. I wouldn't really recommend a sea salt spray as that doesn't have a lot of hold. Now, with both of these hairstyles, you need to have the correct amount of length to pull off these hairstyles, obviously, right? Like I said, the textured fringe only takes about 3 to 6 inches max for your hair to be long enough to pull off that style. And with straight hair especially, any hairstyle you get, you are going to want your barber to texturize your hair a little bit. He can do this by point cutting, using the thinning shears. Honestly, it's not your job to know the exact methods of adding texture. It's your barber's, so make sure you're going to a good barber. I can make a video on that separately of how to find a good barber, but just tell them that you want to add some texture. They should honestly just do it naturally because they should know that straight hair needs that texture and needs that layering. Now for the brush back, you need longer hair, bro. You need more than 6 inches of length for your hair to actually be long enough to go back and stay back. A problem I see often is people trying to move their hair off their forehead, which is a great start and they have great intentions, but their hair isn't long enough. So the hair will just stay going forward because it's not long enough and heavy enough for you to take it back and for it to just lay back, because again, it's too short. So just grow your hair out. Honestly, this is advice to anybody. Everybody should grow their hair out at least once in their life to see what their hair looks like when it's longer. And hey, you might actually grow your hair out and notice it start to wave up or even curl up, because if your hair is cut short, it's going to look straight, even if you have curly hair. That's why the hair on my sides looks straight, because it's very, very short compared to the hair on my top. The hair on my top goes down to my lip, 6 or 7 inches long. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope I covered all of the problems with straight hair. Okay, do you want to come over here? And this guy just kind of spawned in at my house and he has straight hair. Just give him like 3 pieces of advice with straight hair, because I don't have straight hair. I don't suffer from straight hair syndrome.
The last thing you want to do when it comes to your straight hair is not keep up with it. You know, straight hair at times looks better longer, but not too long. You have to make sure that you're getting it trimmed. And if you have to, cut it yourself. You know, some people can't really afford to go to a stylist all the time, and barbers are going to get you chopped with that fade. Really stay away from that stuff. Also, the biggest thing, especially for guys that don't have beards, if you forget to trim their sides, their sideburns, and it's going to make your haircut look really, really bad. If you just line up your sideburns, your straight hair is going to look so much better. When it comes to using hair products, less is more, especially for straight hair. Unless you're going for a really wet look, which is kind of hard to pull off with straight hair. You want to get matte products. The same way oiliness, you know, is a whole lot more prominent on straight hair, so will products, and it's not going to look good.